Welcome to another edition of What the Fuck happening here. Happenings, well, sort of, in Mendham and such. More that way. Can't see what's on this camera, so you never know exactly if you've got the right position. But who cares, right? So it should be totally irrelevant. I mean, I could just be a robot But all that aesthetics does make a difference to people. You know, it's like that Max Headroom guy thing. It's just this visual thing, but it was a little bit hypnotic. For some dopey reason, that stuff works. Silly visual stuff. Sorry, not very good visuals this week. Sorry. You know, wrong camera at the wrong time or something. Anyway, but, you know, nice. I have to say that September and August, September and going into October now, just really incredible weather, better than the summer. It's like we had really, really hot, April, May, June, well, April, May, February, April, May, and then it got kind of crappy for June and July, and even August was a little bit dull. And then it really perked up again. So it's like we had July in September, which is nice for me. I'm a summer kind of person. But anyway, hot in here still, 87. As the sun gets lower, it gets hotter in here. Anyway, this isn't important stuff. But I'm a human, and this is what can't be robotic in my function, although that's what you have to do when you're doing this logic philosophy thing. It's supposed to be really pure and mechanical and precise, rulers and such with the logic. Apply the ruler to the circumstance. Don't go guesstimating. It looks like it weighs a pound. Fuck that stuff. Put it on the scale. I've been thinking about different things, how to communicate ideas, and so somebody sent me a copy of as an email of a letter they sent to David Benatar, and it was a book. I haven't even read it all yet. Very, nicely written, just, the saga of the woe of Juliet and her Romeo, just life's the dilemma. And then, so I guess Benatar's new book is the human dilemma or predicament or something. So I am just guessing it has something to do with this issue of us being the intelligent thing on Earth and essentially being responsible for the management of all the unintelligent beasties. Now we haven't paid any attention at all to any of that responsibility. But who knows? Maybe it's some other dilemma. The dilemma of I want-y, but I can't have-y. I mean, we just can't. We just can't do enough to earn what life costs, and it's just the way it is. And we'd like it to be a video game and to be something that's not real in terms of the negative consequences and the prices paid, but it's not. And just way too expensive for this delusion of our little narrative that says we're important and we're doing something vital. I think most people don't really believe they are. They just feel like they are, and they can't get past the feeling. It somehow just won't be the same without me here. It's it's just the way it is. And even if you are somebody who would make a difference, you don't really make a difference. I mean, you just make a difference in that people notice you're gone. Like they notice, I don't know, they get the driveway repaved and they don't see the cracks anymore and they miss them, sort of. Or something like that. There's lots of negative ways you can look at that also. The old tree in the yard is finally cut down. And yeah, you miss it, but you get past it. We all get pastable. even though we don't feel like we are. Anyway, so it's again this feeling versus thinking thing. So another guy sent me, he left a comment about posted a link to some guy doing philosophy, and it's starting off okay, like, okay, what am I? I have this subjective experience, I'm feeling, and you just know it's going to go, I just know that it's just not going to, it's going to turn into something like that's all there is what I feel, rather than the fact that there's a whole bunch of facts surrounding me. That's reality. Evolution, big one. The slop of humans, evolution in terms of their progression. And so that sort of gets to this, like I made this map a long time ago about this whatever you call one of these kind of diagrams, where you connect the dots a little bit in terms of connecting concepts. And so I want to revisit that as a mechanism. I also want to make some sort of video debate kind of thing. Again, I want to still try to encourage other people to have conversations about these root foundational concepts like evolution and its meaning, and the idea of the thinking mind versus the feeling mind, and how these are the real, these are the things you have to get right, or you're really not going to get what you're doing here. You're not going to describe it correctly. You're going to think you're doing some kind of really super story, and you're really not doing a super story. So that's, so there's lots of elements to that, so I want to work on some of that. Maybe do some live rooms with people, not a group of people, just individuals, conversations, that kind of thing. As the group thing just doesn't, it's always a bad dynamic. Even when it goes fairly well, it still goes badly. It's much better just to deal with one wrong-headed asshole at a time. People do comment that they don't like being called assholes, but I'm sorry. Comments are always so bad, most of them, and especially in the physics channel. Just nobody's ever on the subject, and or in the chat even. Well, I can't say nobody again. It's being unfair. But anyway, and so why shouldn't I be insulting in the sense that you people don't provide any fodder or food, you don't feed the conversation, in my opinion, substantially, in any way whatsoever. So these are two things I'm trying to accomplish here. The philosophy of life, how we're fucking up royally in terms of not recognizing how much torture we're imposing for very little productive accomplishment. And then there's this physics reality, another accurate descriptions of our physical reality, and trying to have that conversation. And in both cases, you're basically arguing with religious nuts. I mean, everybody's a fanatic for a perspective. And the argument is they're fanatics for really idiotic ideas often. I mean, religion, for example. Silly things. That, anybody who has a little bit of education should realize how vulnerable humans are to falling into those kind of silly traps, because my mommy was a Protestant, I'm going to be a Protestant, or some kind of silly thing like that. To see when you're grotesquely just falling into a tradition pattern, and you're not doing something for any better reason than everybody else is doing it. Or my people do that. It's like Obama, when he talks like a black man. He's just playing the game. So that's sort of, still just working on the message, sending messages, and communicating, and trying to find the best way to do that. And ultimately, it's all to hone some kind of. I still see another guy commented and said something like, "Well, is there an hour-long video you could link me to that explains everything, so I don't have to watch the 4,000 videos?" Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I guess there are some overview type videos, but I don't know where they are. I don't. You go find them. I don't have any special knowledge of where my videos, which ones are the ones with the that are the prize ones. I suppose I should be doing that though, annotating and describing and recognizing when I was really on and when I was a little less than not at my best or something. So yeah, that would be good. But yeah, so that's what I'm sort of working towards, is that kind of some way to make this argument in some processed, procedural way that just, no sidetracks, no bullshit. You get to the measuring thing, you measure each little part and you add it up. You do the experiment and the calculations properly instead of improperly, with where tangents of all kinds are what all people go drifting off on. Well, what if there's aliens in the, what if there, the bullshit that just doesn't matter. Doesn't change the circumstance any. Just little things like that, even when that kind of stuff comes up, people don't even think about aliens as having to get here the same way we got here, which is they had to evolve if they exist. So they have the same dilemma of they'd have to be part of that meat grinder process and have somehow risen out of that bloodbath. And that would be a common experience. And yes, both the aliens and us could be completely ignorant of recognizing the meaning of that, of the fact that it really is a bug planet, okay, that 99.99999% of the life on Earth isn't doing what we're doing, which is romantic narratives and love and value and appreciation and triumph and no, they're not doing that. They're just doing kill, kill, eat, eat. Kill them before they kill me. They're doing something entirely different. The mechanism is entirely different. They're not about poetry. They're about pointy teeth. And venom and shooting poison and nasty. That's what life on Earth does. And we're the broken part. We're the part not doing the usual pattern. And most humans are just totally oblivious to that truth and don't really understand how we're just it doesn't mean we're any less of a monster. It just means we're not a monster in the overt way. We don't make our living like a Tyrannosaurus, but we're just as exploitive, if you get my point, in the fact that we see what we'll do to each other, and we certainly see what we'll do to other sentient, feeling creatures on this planet because of just gross bigotry. Because they're not human. They don't have our special chromosomes. They don't have our special talents for evading responsibility. It's like we have the evade responsibility gene. That's one of our weapons, is the ability to not see our culpability, the fact that we are financing the murders and the torture and the abuse and the mayhem and all of that. We're creating it with our will, power, with with our silly memes and silly ideas, that we're worth it. Yeah, we're really cool. We're just bugs. Certainly bugs on the inside. Bugs in the places where it matters, unfortunately. Where most humans aren't doing any kind of high-minded thing. They're just doing the scheming thing. And if they could kill you, and it was legal, you'd be dead. Trust me. you know, if it wasn't for the fact that some smart people have recognized that you gotta do this reward and punishment thing and kind of deter people from doing what they want to do, yeah, your ancestors would have never survived. You wouldn't be here to ignore all of those truths that you are the byproduct of the history, and the facts. That it just isn't. This isn't some little rascals, let's put on a show thing. It just isn't a show. It's all built out of real bones that came from something that wanted to keep them, and that didn't enjoy the process of being turned into one of your tools, of a little, happy snack of double fried bacon. Alright, so I'm starting to get preachy, so I guess that's probably enough. Keep it short. Just because I'm processing. Yeah. So, I just kind of think there needs to be a way to have the conversation in some disciplined way where these assholes aren't part of it. And it's just funny. Yeah, I have you put up message boards now, and it's so funny how the bots are insane in terms of the creating the fake accounts and writing gibberish on the message boards. And it is gibberish, and you're just saying, okay, I guess this is a keyword thing, and somehow that helps in terms of ad revenue or something if you get these keywords out there, whatever the racket is. But yeah, it's just such a slimy world, and this is just one of the things. The civilized people have accepted this. This is okay. Overtly malicious emails, overtly malicious attacks on people's websites, and the FBI isn't after these people. There's no, let's go get them. And it just amazes me that people are that's another complicit. You're kind of complicit in this process. That this is how people make their living. Calling your phone like it's their phone. Like it's their toy, or sending the garbage, the junk, and then actually maliciously destroying the function of message boards. I mean, I had 2,000 people sign up 2,000 fake accounts on a message board that had no messages on it. It was empty. It's like, well, I gotta just blow it up, because I'm not deleting 2,000 accounts. And that's even with the idea that they had to respond with an email code. So they're even going that far. They're going to enough trouble to actually establish email accounts for the purpose of just writing crap on message boards. So, and those are just the bots. And then you have these idiots, these people who just want to talk about their poo incessantly to everyone. And it really is, anybody who has any kind of notion that, I could see where they could say my own survival is really important, but how they could think human survival could be important when they see what humans are, so many of them. I mean, it's such a, we're so humiliated by how many of us are assholes. I mean, come on. Grotesque assholes. You know, and I know that I'm, coming from me, many people think I'm this rude, obnoxious. No, I don't shit in other people's yards. I don't litter. I don't go on the internet and just type vile puke everywhere. I make videos that people have to watch. I mean, if I say the word "fuck you, fucking fucker, fucker" now, you already watched at least 20 minutes. I don't know how long it's been, but at least 20 minutes of a video to get to that part. So you're not. No one's imposing me on you. You know, and they can't even see. These idiots can't even see that. They can't even see the difference, between their fucking graffiti and somebody's book on the shelf in a library. They think graffiti and a book on the shelf in a library are the same things. They're so fucking stupid. So yeah, just thinking about that kind of stuff, you just say, oh, there's not a, there's not a hollow point bullet nasty enough, that the human race doesn't deserve it right in the head. Because yeah, it's just the definition of suck. Our civilization is the definition of it. It's so fucking foul and short of what it should be. And this whole process, like I said, even the functionality of these stupid websites like YouTube, it's the whole fact that they don't, they get rid of the video response, they get rid of any kind of rational indexing, so people can decide what they might be interested in as categories. You can't search YouTube by category. You can't. Google doesn't even index the comments on the videos on its own website in the Google search engine. So it'll index comments on somebody's blog, but it won't index the comments on its own website. I mean, search engines 15 years ago could do that. I mean, the ones that, Alta Vista and all the web and all, they could do that. That was a functionality everybody did, and now it's nobody does. And you people think you've got the internet. Well, what internet do you have? Most of it's not being indexed on purpose. On purpose. Sorry. That doesn't make any fucking sense. And so much of this shit doesn't make any sense. So anyway, but that's the evidence, compiling all the evidence of why humans, shouldn't be allowed to take another breath, really. Yeah, I mean, it's just tons of it. You can just go through all the plagues and the blight and the torture. But it's really getting people in the philosophical mood to recognize that the truth probably isn't going to be flattering. That a real description of them and their life isn't going to be, oh, what a magnificent, fantastic, great human being. All that bullshit. No. Unfortunately, our bug nature owns too much territory. And it's only when you have some sense of guilt and responsibility to those tortured that it might occur to you that I just can't keep lying about how I'm something other than a greedy, selfish asshole. A self-obsessed asshole. And that it's only because of knowledge of the fact that lying sucks and the truth deserves better, something like that. And then you have some sense of honor or guilt, some sort of sense of humiliation that, I just can't be one of the liars. Fuck that. when you might be able to say, yeah, push comes to shove, and I have to tell the truth, you know, then yes, I recognize that I'm not worth it. I'm not worth what it costs to produce me. I'm not worth what it costs to maintain me. And certainly, those assholes certainly aren't. Those fucking asshole commenters aren't. Yeah. So, but anyway, alright, probably enough of a video. Fairly certain it was enough. Yeah, well, anyway, working on it. That's all I can say. I'm working on it. But I have some ideas of how to do this editorially controlled debate thing. You know, an honest debate. And anybody who's being dishonest doesn't get to play. So I'll work on that and creating some tools that might work and such. I also did the switch over, you know, to Linux. I'm using Manjaro. These names are so stupid. But anyway, and yeah, it's working, you know. But the little bugs, the little shitty, stupid things, they don't tell you anywhere. You got to go searching through the internet to find the little obscure code that says, "Oh yeah, you can't. You got to just remember to say these. You know, you got to type these little jerky 4 letters in, and then you get administrator rights because you don't have them automatically. So you have to ask for them essentially on your own computer. Can I please be the administrator?" You know, this is just, but anyway, little stupid things like that, where, you know, there just isn't it's like everything's a little unfinished, and you know, I guess nobody's going to get paid to make the perfect install guide or something, and so they really don't have one, and so everything, you know, you run into trouble. It's a little buggy. I mean, it's a little buggy. I mean, I lost a hard drive. You know, a whole partition got wiped out. So, I mean, you know, even though Linux is supposed to have this really great, you know, infrastructure of disk management, no, not so much. You know, gotta be careful. So anyway, but yeah, generally speaking, it's been interesting and it works, and so. Yes, it was past time, but it was time. Anyway, so enough. So until the next time. And, you know, I still have to edit these videos on the XP computer. But anyway, I don't have to use Windows 10 anyway to do everything else, so that's good. Anyway, enough. So, till the next time, which, you know, I should make more videos. I just been doing the physics thing and blah 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 blah. So anyway, till next time.